Hi my sweets, welcome back to another episode of my Meal Prep Made Easy series. As you know, all month long, I'm sharing meal prep menus that can all be made on Sunday and then enjoy throughout the week. Today's menu is super yummy and comforting. It's actually inspired by all sorts of tasty pub fare. As always, all of these delicious recipes, plus 5 more amazing meal prep menus, are available in my brand new Meal Prep Made Easy ebook. You can find all of the details in the description below. Also, if you've never seen my Meal Prep Made Easy 1 and my Meal Prep Made Easy 2, I highly recommend you check those out as well. All right, without further ado, let's get started with today's menu. We're kicking things off with an awesome slow cooker recipe for baked beans. I love doing baked beans in a slow cooker because the longer they sit, the more yummy they become. This recipe does involve a lot of ingredients, but not to worry, you're just basically going to dump them in the slow cooker, set it, and forget it. So really simple stuff. I'm getting started with some canned navy beans that I've just rinsed and drained. To that, I'm adding some broth, some tomato puree, and some finely diced red onion. I'm also adding some molasses and maple syrup for sweetness, some balsamic vinegar for a little bit of tartness. I've got some minced garlic, some Dijon mustard, and some Worcestershire sauce. You're going to hear that term a lot in today's menu, so if I'm mispronouncing it, I'm sorry. Finally, I'm going to season this up with some beautiful herbs and spices. Today, I'm using some ground cumin. I've got some dried thyme, some smoked paprika, some red chili flakes, and of course, some salt and pepper. I'm going to give all of this a stir and set my slow cooker to high and let it simmer away for 3 or 4 hours. Like I said, the longer this simmers, the yummier it becomes. These baked beans can be enjoyed as a side dish or served with some eggs for a protein-packed breakfast. They'll last in the refrigerator for 4 or 5 days. They also freeze really well, so if you want to go ahead and make a double batch, that would be a great idea. Our main dish this week is actually inspired by tasty buffalo chicken wings. I'm actually making this recipe with some chicken thighs, which are really inexpensive. I've seasoned my chicken thighs with a little salt and pepper, and I'm just heating up some olive oil in my skillet on the stove. I'm going to start with my chicken top side down in my pan until it develops a nice golden crust, and then I'm going to flip my chicken over and get to seasonings. In this case, I'm using some minced garlic, a whole lot of hot sauce, and some barbecue sauce. I'm also adding a little splash of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna finish this off with some green onion, and then I'm going to put the lid on my pot, turn my heat down to medium-low, and let this goodness simmer away for 15 or 20 minutes. I like to turn my chicken a few times through the cooking process to make sure it's getting sauced on all sides. I was just feeling saucy today. You know how it goes. This chicken, of course, is amazing eaten all on its own, but I would highly recommend serving it with some blue cheese dressing, because as far as I'm concerned, that's how buffalo chicken was meant to be enjoyed. If you do give it a try, I really hope you'll serve it with these delicious oven-baked fries I'm about to show you. For these tasty fries, I'm actually using a combination of russet potatoes and sweet potatoes that I've just cut into fry shapes. I'm going to toss them with a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper, some garlic powder, and some rosemary. Once they're well coated, I'm going to finish them off with a dusting of cornstarch. This is going to help them get a nice crispy crust. And then into the oven they go at 400 degrees for between 30 and 40 minutes or until they are golden on all sides. I highly recommend flipping them once or twice through the cooking process so they cook evenly. These can be enjoyed straight out of the oven or refrigerated for up to 5 days. They are oh so yummy and a nice alternative to deep fried French fries. To help offset some of that decadence, this week we are making some sauteed broccoli because of course it's really important to get your greens on. I'm getting started by melting some butter in a skillet on the stove, and to that I'm going to add some minced garlic. Once that garlic becomes nice and fragrant, I'm also going to add a little splash of Worcestershire sauce and a splash of water. This is gonna help our broccoli steam up beautifully. I'm going to pop my broccoli florets in my skillet and put on the lid and steam those babies for maybe 3 or 4 minutes or until they become bright green but still retain some of their crunch. This broccoli is a really yummy way to get more greens in your life. You can definitely eat it all on its own or enjoy it in a salad dish or a pasta dish. It's got loads of yummy flavor and of course is kind of good for you, which is never a bad thing. Speaking of healthy, for lunch this week, we are making a really tasty, crunchy kale slaw, which of course is actually just coleslaw made with kale. And we're gonna get started by mixing up our dressing. Instead of mayo in this dressing, I'm actually starting with some plain Greek yogurt. To that, I'm adding some lemon juice, a good drizzle of honey, some Dijon mustard, and some whole caraway seeds. Finally, I'm going to season this up with some salt and pepper. I'm just gonna whisk that all up and then set it aside while I get to work on creating my kale slaw, which of course starts with some kale. I finally chopped my kale to make it a little easier to eat, and to that I'm adding some beautiful thinly sliced red cabbage, some julienne carrots, some red onion for flavor, and finally adding my dressing. Adding some shredded apple to this recipe would be really, really delicious, but of course apples also tend to oxidize, so you may want to add them just before serving. I'm going to toss all of this goodness together, and then it can be enjoyed right away or stored in the refrigerator for 4 or 5 days. The great part about a salad like this is the longer it sits, the better the flavor becomes. For breakfast this week, I've got a bit of a twist on a traditional egg salad. They're my Western egg salad cups, and of course, they include all of the yummy flavors of a traditional Western omelet, except in egg salad. See where I'm going with this? This recipe starts with a whole lot of boiled eggs that I've just peeled and roughly chopped. To that, I'm adding my Western flavors. So I've got some chopped ham, some green and red bell pepper, a little red onion, and some garlic. I'm going to season this up with some smoked paprika, some salt, and some pepper, and then I'm going to finish it off with a few spoonfuls of mayo and give this all a really, really good stir. I'm transferring these into individual mason jars so I can just grab them and go come morning. These beauties are protein-packed and will last in the refrigerator for up to 4 days. For my snack this week, I am making a super fun and super tasty bar mix. This recipe all starts with some pretzels, so you know it actually can't be bad. I'm also adding some roasted peanuts, some corn nuts, some wasabi peas for a little bit of spice, and then I'm going to season this up with some garlic powder and some smoked paprika. I'm going to toss it all together and then portion it out into individual cups. It's really important when you're doing things like trail mix or bar mix to make sure that you are practicing good portion control because of course the calories can add up quickly. This snack is salty and satisfying and has the perfect amount of crunch. I really hope you guys love this week's menu as much as I do and that you'll give it a try in your very own kitchens. If you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Snapchat me a photo because of course I love seeing your creations. Keep in mind, every one of these recipes can be found in my brand new Meal Prep Made Easy ebook, which also includes 5 more delicious menus just like this one, so I highly recommend you check that out. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more meal prep deliciousness where this came from.